D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds, and good morning. It's now the light of day. This trailer dropped last night, and I got home from work late, and I did a trailer reaction, which I hate that they dropped them late. I really do, because everybody else has seen it before I have, so I'm like late to the party, and nobody likes to be late to a party. So I wanted to do a trailer breakdown because I had recently just read these comic books, and I have to be honest with you. So the Gorr the God Butcher storyline was pretty good. I actually really did enjoy that. But the Jane Foster becoming Thor storyline was not my favorite. In fact, I didn't really care for it. I read the first time I read it. I did like it, but I said this in my trailer reaction. I think I liked it because I went through it issue by issue, and then now I just read them all back to back to back, and I was all like, it's really not that great. But what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So in saying that, this trailer, I don't really get the sense that Jane Foster has cancer, but maybe that will be the big reveal instead of the fact that in the comic books you don't know who Thor is right off the bat, female Thor. Until because he rules Jane Foster out because she has cancer, because he's like, it cannot be Jane Foster. Sorry, I'm doing that in the voice of Chris Hemsworth. And then he thinks it's a shield agent. It doesn't matter, anyways. So this is so I'm going to do this breakdown, everything I'm going to go through. There's a lot of stuff in here, guys. There's a lot of stuff. And everything, and I'll explain, all that good stuff. All right. But before I get started on this breakdown, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, and small channels like mine, we always get shoved to the back of the line. So please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. So now that we've gotten started on that portion of, or got that out of the way, let's start on this trailer reaction. So it starts off with this tree, and if you remember from the last trailer, the teaser trailer, we did get this tree. And that's where he's going to find himself and everything. He's going to figure out who he is, which is like, okay, good for you. So it moves along, and then we get Korg here, or Conk, whatever his name is. He's talking to these little aliens, and they were also in the last trailer. And he's telling them a story about Thor. And they talk about how he's like this space Viking. Oh, there he goes. And this is from the last trailer, but these are those aliens in that cave. And then if you notice, like right here, that's hold on, let's move this. Sorry, guys, this is in the way. There's a Groot, and then right there's Star-Lord, and there's Nebula and everything. So they're obviously like fighting some kind of alien race, which we'll see in a little bit. And he's just whipping it off, which was his Ravager Thor. This is my favorite look in the movie, unless they have another look that we haven't seen yet. But this is my absolute favorite look. I said this before, and I'll say it again. I love that he's wearing like his little boots, and then he's wearing the t-shirt, but then he's got the leather jacket and everything. If I ever do start cosplaying, this is a look that I'm going to do. I know I'm gonna have to bulk up and everything. So he's all, he's bringing the thunder. So they show him, and he pops his collar like a badass, because he is. I love his hair, how it swoops to one side and everything. He's got a braid in here. That's pretty cool too. Sorry, guys, it's early for me, and I need the caffeine. And then we got James Gunn's brother right here with the little mohawk and everything, and then the Guardians in the background. He's ready to go. He is pumped. He is pumped. So then we get, okay, so we'll go. Oops, sorry guys, I went a little too far. So let's go back. Here's New Asgard with them. We saw this in the last trailer. Also, they got their little tour ships here. They've got these little cruise liners here. These cruise liners look, I don't know how they're docking there, but it's obviously become a tourist attraction. So good for them, making that money, making that sweet dollar bill. So I like this too. This was, so what this was reminiscent to me of in the 90s, the X-Men comic animated TV show in episode 1, when they're in the mall, and Storm she does her little lightning thing, and her whole costume just changes with the lightning, and I was like, shut up and everything, because so if you notice, he does his little transformation real quick here. I'm going slow-mo. So he just does his little thing, and I think this is right. Maybe this is right when they leave him, or after they leave him on this planet, because they go do their thing. And if you notice, the goats are over here, those little goats. I think that they might take those goats with them. Like, they don't need to be pulling that ship, which there was that Lego thing that we saw before. And that's just like a tour ship around, their little island or whatnot. Well, not an island. Anyways, but I think he brings those back to New Asgard with him and everything, because they're on this junk planet, it looks like, and they're right there. So maybe they bring him back. Okay. So then we're moving on. So here he is working out in his little trucker cap, and he goes from dad bod to God bod. I've got a dad bod. Maybe I need to pull on the Melania. Or Milano, or the Milano, to get a God bod. That's really cool. Now, this right here, this is an attack on a New Asgard, and you can see this guy's got a sword, so maybe that's like a New Asgardian, and they're coming out to fight. They're like, let's do this, guys. And you get these little creatures. Now, they did put out a Lego set also, and this is an attack on New Asgard. But here's my question about that: a Gorr, the God Butcher figure, comes with that, and these creatures, I don't know what these creatures are. They've got like, this looks like they've got like a scorpion tail, and they've got like all these little tentacle things, and they reminded me of the little guy from Monsters Inc., the orange one that's like and everything. But and then he talks about how he's come to reclaim it as the one and only Thor, and he's like, there's Mjolnir. He's just sitting there, or it. Hold on, let me move this again. Sorry, guys, this is no way. Oh yeah, we'll stick it right there. Naughty. So he's going to grab it. And Mjolnir's not having it, and neither is Jane, because it gets pulled away, gets ripped out of his hands. And she picks it up, she grabs it, and she's all like, hey baby, you want a piece of this? Mama's come to play. And so she's and look at this helmet. This is the awful CG. Like, you can tell that's not even there. You can tell it's not even there. This stupid looking helmet. I don't like this helmet. I think that they've gotten rid of the helmets. So maybe they should just get rid of it, because it's very obvious they don't know how to do the helmet correctly. So sorry. So I say just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. He's like, Jane, and this little house is falling apart, and she's looking good. I like her hair. She looks great. She doesn't have hair in the comic books, because maybe she does it as female Thor, but then the house falls apart, and you get this little concert Marvel Studios thing. That's pretty cool. I think this is Valkyrie on Pegasus, because she has one. She's been flying. She flew it in the last thing. I wonder where she got it from, because, you didn't see it until that last. Well, you saw it in Thor Ragnarok, but then it didn't, and then it showed back up in Endgame. Anyways, okay. And then here, so they're back. Oh, this is New Asgard, and I think this is where they go to talk to her, and she's sitting in the chair looking all bored and everything, and yeah. So then, she lands in this little hall, and then if you look, hold on, you see these statues back here. We're gonna go over these statues in just at the end of this trailer, because there's some fun little Easter eggs there. So she lands, and if you look right here, see how she's wearing the helmet, and then it goes away. If you notice right here, just watch that part, because I can't, and it retracts. And then she's got her hair, luscious locks, little curl. She's like, how long has it been? Like 5 years? And then he's going all simp mode, which I didn't like this when I first saw it. I don't like it now. He's all like, oh, it's been 8 years, 6 months, 42 days, 3 hours, and 52 minutes. And I'm all like, no. You don't need to be simping for her. She doesn't need to simp for you. You can still like maybe have feelings later on, but you guys have been separated for a while now, so I don't like that. And she's all like, oh, you've been paying. Oh, you're a big creeper. Okay, I don't like that. Don't turn Thor into a creeper. Do the comedy thing. That's fine, but no creepy creep. I don't like it. Okay, so they're on Olympus here, and I mentioned in my last breakdown, but this is where Zeus is, and maybe another god here. Which I'll point out later. And then, so here they are in Olympus, and they're just walking through the streets. Something tells me that maybe this is after the attack on Zeus. And we'll talk about it. Hold on, we'll get to it. So here they are on this ship. I think this is also after or before. This is before they go to Olympus. I think they're flying off to Olympus, all looking into each other's eyes, all misty eyed, and all like, I think you like him. Okay, so there they are, and they're both very attractive people. And he's like, because Valkyrie before was all like, am I detecting feelings? I don't like Tessa Thompson as an actress. I don't think she's very good. You know, I know you're gonna be like, oh, you're racist. I don't have a problem that they picked a black woman to play Valkyrie, and I don't care that she's the leader of New Asgard now. I just don't like Tessa Thompson. I don't think she's that great of an actress. Okay, I think out of everybody here, she's like the worst one out of these main people. But you know, whatever. I didn't pick her, and I can't change her, so I'm just gonna live with it. Okay. She's like, do I detect feelings? And then he's all like, no. What? I don't think so. Oh, that's stupid. I'm curious to see where this is at. We're in the movie, because if you that looks like maybe the Milano's little thing, and she's here. We'll see. I don't know. Because and maybe they'll do it like, because in the comic books, in one portion they went from 3 different timelines. You know, they went from Thor back in the day, Thor present, and then Thor in the future, and he has like an eye patch and everything. I don't think they're going to do that here, but maybe they'll kind of do that here. Okay, so here, this right here is Gorr's thing. This little like cloud right here with this little planet or whatever it is. I'm not sure what they're doing here with this, because yeah, there was just nothing as far as this goes. I'm curious to see where they go here. So then so this right here, and we get this. I love his hand, how it like grabs the thing, and he's got like the long nails and everything. I was trying to figure out what this reminded me of, because it reminded me of something, but I couldn't remember. So this right here is the Necro Sword, and he gets this. I'll talk about his origin in just a minute when we get to him when he's on his planet, because it's all luscious and green, and that's not how it is in the comic books. But this is basically okay. So they gave the Necro Sword, the real Necro Sword from the comic books. They gave it to Hela in Thor Ragnarok, because and they even in a book they called it the Necro Sword, which kind of bummed me out, because and then in the comic books the way that she used the Necro Sword is it's the way that it's used in the comic books. So he's got this sword, which is some kind of other sword. I like the Necro Sword better than this one, but whatever, it's fine. So he pulls it up and everything. And that's his weapon of choice. So now this is just like the comic books, and he pulls it, and like he's got his whole thing, and like they're just these like tentacle things, and he uses them to fight in the comic books, and then he also creates these these like shadow creatures almost that can be killed. You can't. So he takes off his hood, and there he is, and you're all like, ew. He needs some milk and some moisturizer. He's been painting because he's got all this splatter. I'm just joking. Calm down. Yeah, he needs some milk. He is pasty. Maybe he needs some vitamin D, you know. So he takes off his hood and reveals himself. Now, this right here, this is a shot directly from the comics. This is after Thor. So in the comics, what happens is Thor goes and he saves these people because they're on this planet and it's all dried out and everything, and they need rain. So they're praying to Thor, and he comes and he brings the thunder, the lightning, and the rain, and he saves them, you know, from dehydrating and dying. And there, he's all like, "Why didn't your gods from your little sector come and everything?" And this little girl, I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember exactly what was said. Don't get mad at me, okay? I did read the comic book, okay? You know, some people get that way. They're like, "You didn't read it," and I'm all like, "I promise I did." But and then he's all like, "Where are the gods from your sector? They're called something or other. They're like these big giant people." And he goes to visit them, and he finds them all dead. They've all been killed by Gorr. And they've all been strung up and everything. And then he goes to this library where he tries to find a list of all the gods and everything. And then he goes and he starts looking through. Starts going through and looking for them to figure out all the. And he finds this one, and it's been murdered. Who? I can't remember its name, but I think he said it's like 500 years old. and everything since he last saw it. So, and it's a relatively new god, I believe. Don't quote me on that. So it's dead. So this was ripped out right out of the comic book, this shot, except for Korg is there and he's not in the comic book. So then moving on, and then he's okay. And then he says the only thing gods care about is themselves. And this is him, and this is origin story. Now, this is the thing about this. In his origin story, if you see all this green, this lush greenery behind him, that's not how it happens in the comic books. Okay. So how he becomes Gorr, the God Butcher in the comic books is he's on this planet. And they don't explain things about it very well, but he's on this planet with his mother and his wife and his kids and everything. And they're praying to the gods, and he doesn't believe in the gods. He doesn't believe in gods and everything, but they're praying. And there's all these predators, and his mother gets killed by these predators on this planet. It's a very dry, like kind of very deserty planet. So his mother gets killed by the predators. His wife, she falls. There's like some rocks and then the like cave down, and she falls. And then his oldest son, or his youngest son, I don't remember. His son dies in his arms, because they're like starving or whatever. And then he sees these two gods fighting. And the one that he gets his like powers from, his little darkness powers from, he's all like, help me. And he's like, why would I help you? You didn't help us. Where were you in our time of need? And so he loses everything. It's a very basic origin story, but very effective. And so, and as far as this goes, it's just Christian Bale. I think I saw somebody say Christian Pale, and that's exactly what it is. I mean, it is later on, he is somewhat menacing and everything, but I wish they would have done the alien look from the comic books, because it's a much better look. And I know they didn't want to do it because what was his name? Ebony Maw kind of looked like him, but they could be the same species. It's not like it's not a thing, but it's fine. It's fine. This did remind me when I first saw it. Now that I'm looking at it, it doesn't remind me anymore, but the aliens from that opening scene from Star Trek Into Darkness. That's what I thought of it immediately. But now that I've taken some time to do this, it doesn't remind me that at all. Okay, so moving on. So, and he's like, and so here he is looking at that big creature from before, and he's just realizing that shit's going down, like for real. And so, and he's all like, and then so he puts out, now here are these goats that from before. And like I said before, if you notice them, let's go back real quick. No. Sorry, I shouldn't have done this. There we go. They're right there over there in the corner. There they are in the corner. So then they're here. So like I said before, I don't think that they are in Asgard. Like they didn't come from Asgard, these goats. Now in the comic book, he has this big white goat in the Jane, the female Thor storyline. He has this giant goat, and it eats aliens or whatever. And he rides that around. So they're obviously not doing that because he's not riding the goat. But these goats are just going to pull this little boat, even though it doesn't look like they need to, but they're going to anyways. Very cool. I do like this, and Thor does, from what I understand in Norse mythology, does get pulled around by two goats on a carriage or on a carriage. I don't know what it's not a carriage. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Anyways, so there they are, and this is them arriving at Olympus. And this is very cool. I'm curious to see if Gorr the God Butcher shows up and kills some gods here, because it's not going to be that cool if he doesn't. But whatever. So here he is. He's like, what you did back there was nice moves and everything. And I think that this takes place after this little attack because, obviously he wouldn't say it before that. That's weird. And so here she's doing a cool flip, a little flippy flip. And then watch this. Hold on. And then these are all gods right here. All these are gods. Anyway, so she flings, and I think that's Zeus, but don't quote me on that. So she flings this, and those are pieces of Mjolnir. Sorry, I can't say Mjolnir. Right. Those are the pieces. And I was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that, but at the same time, it's kind of cool. And knocks all these little Greek soldiers away. And then she's all like, that was my first bad guy. And I'm like, is she talking about Zeus? Is Zeus the bad guy? I'm a bad guy. Duh, do. Anyways, it's early. I'm sorry, you guys. And and then we get Gorr here. Now, I think, I don't know if he's torturing a god or if he's torturing Thor, because in the comic books, he does torture Thor at one point in time. But you got the little lips with the whatever's going on, the little black stuff coming out, and I'm very curious to see what's going on here with him and what they're doing with his storyline now that I don't know what they're doing with this darkness stuff. So then he does this thing. I don't know what this is either. But he plunges it into this like moon thingy, this whatever that's going on here too. I don't know. He's like, and then he's like, you never forget your first. And I'm like, naughty. You never forget your first. Anyways. And she gives him the look. I don't know how I feel about if this has got to be CGI. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't like it. I don't like CGI helmets. So this is Zeus, and he's obviously like doing his thing, but and then that's pretty cool too, right there, because this is all black and white, and then this is color, but then he goes black and white later. That's cool. And then here's Tessa Thompson fighting. I don't think Valkyrie's going to make it out alive in this because she's got the lightning bolt of Zeus. So that makes me wonder, did they take it from him? And then this makes me wonder also because they busting through Zeus's little palace. So did the goat boat come and save them in here? And everything. I mean, yeah. And then here he is using this as a whip, and this is after he gets his clothes blown off. Ooh. And then he's like whipping around, and then he's like, and then here he is. He's like, and look at him. He's so like he's got these scars, and he's got this gross like it reminds me of Penguin from Batman Returns. Anyways. But he's like, you're like no other god I've killed before. And he's all like, maybe because I have something to fight for. And then we get the Guardians of the Galaxy right here, being all, Guardians of the Galaxy. And then they do a little finger touch and everything. I do that with my wife sometimes. Do the little pinky hug. And then this is a really good shot here. He's like, you and everything. And he's like, come at me. You have much to learn, grasshopper. And then here she is. Ooh, I want to point out these statues right here. If you look in the background. So if you look over here, this is Lady Death and everything who Thanos tried to get with. You get over here, there's the Watcher, Watu, which we've seen before. We've seen the Watcher in the films before as a little cameo. And then we've also seen him in What If. What If was horrible. And then right here is the Living Tribunal. In the back here, this is Infinity and everything. I had to zoom in. And then this right here is Eon. And these are all cosmic beings. So I'm curious if they're in this library that I was talking about before about the gods and everything. And it also makes me wonder, how would Gorr face up against these gods, like these cosmic entities? So then she brings the thunder, and we go to Thor, Love and Thunder. And then here he is, Zeus, and he comes down because like this is his little floaty thing because he's high up here and everything. And then he floats down here on his little thing. And he's all like, who are you underneath, and everything. And if you notice, he's wearing this robe. So that's why I think they come to Olympus. They put on these little disguises. Why? I don't know. Maybe the Olympians and the Asgardians never got along. Because if you notice, like here, hold on, when they're walking through here, they're not wearing their disguises anymore. And this is after the fact. So I think that they break in and then they wear these little robes. So he comes down. He's all like, I will take off your clothes. And he's like, give you a little, what does he say? A little push. Oh, a little flick. And he flicks off all his clothes, which is, and boom, hello. I love Gorr. They blurred out his butt, which makes me wonder, will they blur that out in the real movie? And if not, I can't take my children to see this. They can't see nudity. He's like, and I love how I love Korg's face there. He's all like, hold on. Look at him. And everything. It must be very impressive. You know what I'm saying? His hammer. His Odin son. He's like, you flick too hard, damn it. And then all these people faint. They all faint. Yeah, it's got to be a very impressive mariner. And then she's like, should we help him? And she's like, in a minute. Grape. If you notice, they released a picture. So these ladies are sitting here on these chairs. And there was a picture that they released earlier. And in the picture, sitting right here in this chair right here is Bast. And I did the story, I had, covered the story earlier. I'll leave it in an iCard section, but they were gonna have Bast in here, and that's her right there in this chair right here. So obviously, all these gods, maybe from other places and other mythologies and stuff, are showing up here on Olympus and everything. And it also makes me go, where was she in Moon Knight? So should we help him out? And she's like, grape and everything. And then here he is from that attack before, because he's obviously wearing the Ravager Thor outfit. Yeah, and I think that is from, this part right here. And then he's jumping up and he's like, take my hammer or my axe and everything. And then July 8th, and then that's the end of it. So I think that this looks really, really good, you guys. I'm trying to find out what I'm trying to say here. I am excited for this movie. I don't like the simping portion of the program about how Thor is like, all like, not necessarily like, I don't mind that he dotes on the fact that she's a good fighter when he's all like, hey, you did really good back there, because he's just complimenting her. That part I don't care about, but it really would bother me if he's just simping for her, because Thor's his own person. Jane Foster as Thor is her own person. We don't need them, simping for each other. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Yeah, those are my thoughts on that. Tell me, what did you guys think about this? How do you feel about this movie? Do you think this movie is going to be good? Did I point stuff out that you didn't notice before and you're excited about it now? How do you feel about all the Easter eggs? Was there an Easter egg I missed? Was there something I missed? Yeah, all that good stuff. Tell me what you guys think. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys on my next trailer breakdown. You guys have a good day. Bye.